Welcome back, guys. Today I want to talk about lighting for your press. And I have never talked about this on the channel, and I'm not sure why, because it is very important. I was contacted a couple days ago by a guy who's selling some LED light kits for reloading presses. The company's called KMS Squared. And he just wanted to send me one of his kits, and I said, sure, why not? Because it's a topic I haven't discussed. And whether you buy one of his kits or something else, some other way, having your press well lit is very important, and can really help you inspect powder charges and see what's going on. So that's very important. And I think maybe I just don't think about it a lot because I've got a ridiculous amount of light here that I need for filming. I've got fluorescent lighting directly above me. I've got spotlights behind me. There's light everywhere. But even with all of that, sometimes on my press, still, a little additional light is needed. So I'm hoping this is going to be a good kit. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Another reason why I agreed to look at his stuff is they're very reasonably priced. This universal kit, which is a 15 LED strip, on this flexible LED strip, is $16, $15.99 on Amazon right now. It comes with, of course, the LED strip, a power supply, and a really nice little switch. Thing's good and clicky. Very nice little switch. He also includes some accessories like some cable, so some zip ties, some little cable tie sticky thingies, an alcohol pad to clean off the surface, a scratch pad to roughen up the surface. So everything you need to mount this guy seems to come with the kit, and it's $16. This is nothing new. There are others out there, but it seems like a lot of the options out there are either just not that impressive or they're too expensive. Like Inline Fabrications has got some really nice press lights, but the prices are absurd. They're just ridiculous. And like Hornady sells a little light, but it's only like 5 LEDs, and I don't think it includes a switch. So there was no in between of a nice, reasonably priced kit that should be able to do everything you want. And I'm hoping this is going to be it. We'll find out here in a few minutes. As I mentioned, this is his universal kit, which is the 15 LED strip. He also has a specific kit for the Hornady Lock and Load AP. And it is really cool. I almost want to buy a press just so I can buy one of these lights. It's like a strip of LEDs, and then it comes up into a little halo UFO type of round section of LEDs. So it goes under the press, lights all the way up the side, and then all the way around, the top. So really cool. That one's a little bit more expensive. It's like 25 or 20, $26.97. So that guy's a little more expensive. I'll tell you what, I'll roll in some of his pictures. Hopefully he won't mind me stealing his pictures. But yeah, it just comes up and has that little round thing and goes underneath. Like, that is cool, man. That is pretty cool. All right, so quick, first inspection of this guy. I'm seeing some good stuff. Like, there's not a whole lot to a power supply. This guy is, 12 volt, 1 amp power supply. Looks like it will do 100 to 240 volts AC and 50 or 60 hertz. So those of you on the other side of the planet, as long as you can adapt our American style plugs, looks like it should accept your crazy power. The LED strip seems to be well made. Like, I've been tugging on it and kind of, being a little rough with it. I don't feel like the parts are about to fall off or anything. I took some close-up footage. It looks like the solder joints are good. So overall, that looks pretty good. Like, I've been kind of tugging on it a little bit. I don't feel like it's going to fall apart on me. It seems to be reasonably well made. The jacket of the main cable feels nice. So overall, very impressed so far. The switch just connects in. This is a very good connection. Like this one would not come apart on you. So that's a really good connection. But this is the first problem I see. The connection between the power supply and this adapter here, very sloppy. Not a huge deal. What I'm going to do is just take some electrical tape and tape that together. No big deal, because that's the sort of thing, like it would come loose on you all the time and drive you crazy. So a little bit of electrical tape will go a long way towards making that okay. All right, let's plug this guy in here. All right. Of course, it's going to be difficult to kind of show how bright something is on a camera, but these are, I was afraid they were going to be ridiculously bright. They are very, very bright, but they're not so bad. You wouldn't want them pointing towards you. Like, you wouldn't want to look at them, but they're not absurdly bright. They're about right. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but I was afraid they might just be ridiculous, but they're not. Let this guy run for a little bit and see how much heat they produce. So that's pretty much all there is to it. It looks like you get about, looks like this is a 5-foot cord maybe. Let me measure. Looks like you get about a little over 4 feet on this, and then another 2 feet here. So in total, you get about 6 feet between your outlet and the actual LEDs. So when I first took it out of the package, I thought, that's a little bit short, but not really. That should be fine. You should have power within 6 feet of your bench, right? I'll tell you what, let's get a closer look at my press, and we'll see if there's any way that we can get this guy to mount, because that's the problem. My press is not really, like, this is perfect for like an O-frame press, like a normal O-frame, where this just goes inside of the frame, it points away from you and kind of points down toward your shell holder. But with my Redding T7, it might be a challenge. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is the challenge. You don't want it pointing this way because it'll be in your eyes all the time. And, there's no, back here is the perfect way, right? Like on an O-frame single stage, that's what you get, and man, it's perfect. The other thing I failed to mention is you can trim these. Like every 3 LEDs, there's a little line with some scissors. Everywhere you see the copper contacts, you can just cut this to whatever length you like. So the best thing I can come up with for my press is to maybe actually attach it to this guy, the safety guard thingy for my priming system. And I will probably need to trim this. Flip it back on here. That actually might work out really well. If I can keep it over out of the way so it doesn't interfere with my priming arm, that might just work. So I will need to trim this a little bit. Let's see, what's the closest? Oh good, there's a trim spot right there. So I need to trim off the top 2 segments of LEDs. So let's see, do I have some scissors up here? I normally do. All right, you guys stand by. I got to go get some scissors. Whew. Okay, so that was a little bit more more of an adventure than I anticipated, but I did find scissors, which was, double check myself here. Yeah, right there. And we want to unplug it first. So let's just snip right there on the line. So let's see if it still works. Yep, sweet. Okay. Tell you what, just as a test here, before we peel off the adhesive, I want to zip tie this guy and do a quick check first. And actually, I guess maybe zip tying might be a decent permanent solution for me here. Okay, that's a problem. These are small zip ties, so, you know, but yep, broke in half. I've got more. Let's see if they all break. Am I covering up that bottom LED? Nope, I don't think so. All right, that's the basic location. So now I guess the next question was, would I still be able to remove this? Kind of. Gets a little tight over here. Yep, that's why zip tying might be a better permanent solution for me. All right, so I really just bent the crap out of that thing. So that's a good test, I guess. So let's plug it in and see if it still works. All right, I'm digging that. Let's get a piece of brass. All right, here's a nice shiny piece of 223. That's pretty cool. Sure nothing interferes. Seems to be seems to be okay. Should probably go around to an empty. Yeah, I'll be able to route that back there. And be just fine. Now, I feel like I'm cheating you guys. I want to try out the adhesive and make sure it works halfway decent. So we need to stick this guy to something. Okay. One other thing I forgot to mention. If you've got a tyrannical woman in your life who's going to get mad over you spending $16, he's got some of these where this stuff is white and it's for sewing machines. You buy her one, you buy you one, everybody's happy. We'll stick it to my powder measure here. So let's see, we've got an alcohol wipe. All right, so we scratched that up a little bit just to get the paint smoothed out a touch. And then our alcohol wipe. I probably should have read his instructions just to be sure. Clean all surfaces. It is critical that all oils be removed and the surface dried. All right. So he says that wherever you decide to stick it, you use a wire tie to secure the base, which makes sense, right? Because that's going to be the fragile part of this. Although I've been tugging on it and bending it and kind of giving it hell here, hoping that if it's going to fail, it'll fail right here on camera. You know, that is your weak point. So having a zip tie here, once this is adhered, you know, that's going to be your point of failure. So finding some way to secure that part, I think, will be critical. And that's probably why it is in his instructions. Okay, so we've peeled off our adhesive backing. That is, seems to be sticking just fine. All right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let this run for about a half hour and then come back and we'll see how well the adhesive has stuck, and I'll also feel to see if these are getting hot because I don't feel any even warmth. Need to put our switch back in line here. There we go. Okay, so we're approaching a half hour. Yeah, these guys are ice cold. So no heat buildup to worry about, it doesn't seem. Power supply. Yeah, power supply is not even warm. So good to go. We'll see how well this adhesive stuck. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this off. Oh, crap. There we go. I'll tell you what, that is on there. So yeah, looks like the adhesive is pretty good stuff. Especially if, you know, you rough up the surface and get that looking good. All right, before this goes on the press, what I want to do is plug that in there and then, like I was saying, hit it with some electrical tape. Because I guess at this point, the only negatives I've got are this connection being a little bit sloppy and the zip ties that it came with being a little bit crappy. So neither one of those are really a huge deal to me. And to be honest, I do this with a lot of connectors like this anyway. I just don't trust them. So there it is, that's that. Most importantly, I'm happy with the lights. I'm happy with just how crazy flexible they are. I'm happy with the quality. You know, they seem like good lights. So, all right, now let's get these guys on the press. So I went and grabbed some zip ties. These are crappy ones as well, but come on, we've all got zip ties laying around, right? I mean, that's just something that a man keeps around. And if you don't, you should. So I'm not going to get too worked up over crappy zip ties. Yep, so I'll probably just leave these zip tied, and then whenever I need to remove the priming system off my press, I'll just cut the zip ties. There we go. That's good enough. All right, so there we have it. Some unobtrusive lights on the press that are going to help me spot powder. Pretty darn cool. All right, so overall, I'd have to say I'm pretty happy with this this little kit, and I'm happy with the price. You know, I feel like 16 bucks is a very fair, assuming this thing's going to work for a while. I feel like $16 was a fair price for that kit. That's the problem with reloading, is there are a lot of companies out there just absolutely ripping us off. They take common stuff, put a reloading label on it, and then sell it to us for twice as much as it's worth. And that's kind of how I felt about a lot of the press lighting kits that were out there But this one, I feel like it hits the price correctly and seems to be exactly what I expected from reading their, their description. So you'll start seeing this, on my reloading videos now, because, this kit is going to stay on my press and I plan to use it. So if it fails in 3 weeks or something, you're going to know about it because it's going to stay on the press. So I think that's it. Links down in the description if you want to pick up one of these kits or one of their kits for the lock and load AP. Maybe I'll see if he'll send me one of those, so I can have a look at it. Whatever, I don't know. But all right, see you guys next time.